have these two different categories, organizational roles and data governance roles. And this sometimes becomes a little confusing when people are thinking about what their data governance initiatives are. So it's important to separate these two things. So when I think about organizational roles, I think about things like your IT system or database admins, your institutional organizational research people, your business intelligence or data warehouse team, people who are building the stuff, or security and risk managers, a CIO or chief data officer, your CEO, like your leadership of the organization, report writers, either a team of report writers or self-service report writers, people who are requesting data or consuming data, or users of reporting tools or data warehouse tools. Maybe you're part of a consortium or an association, or you're like a corporate office where you're aggregating data from multiple entities together and benchmarking and reporting out. Also, you've got your like system integrators and developers and external auditors. So all these people who are part of the organization and have these, like, this is their sort of jobs, within their organization. And these particular roles have from at an organizational standpoint, do have a place in the data governance roles, which is a much sort of smaller list of things where people who, maybe if you're a report writer, you can fall into these various different positions or focuses. So we're going to be talking primarily about the concept of the data governance role today. But it is sort of important to understand those organizational roles and sort of what their goals are. So this is maybe it is an oversimplification, but I sort of boil those roles down into these types of things. You've got sort of people with knowledge of the data systems. You have people with knowledge of the business rules. Okay? You have people who need better knowledge of the data, who need either one of those two bits of information to do what they're trying to do. You have people hoarding knowledge, which is a problem that we've all sort of seen. People who can't see beyond their own context. And when you think about these organizational roles, you've got someone maybe who is, a DBA or a business analyst who's very focused on like one system or one thing, and they have a hard time understanding how the data that they're looking at and dealing with every day, how that context can extend up the broader organization. The people who need to use the data, who need answers from it, people who want to protect the data, whose job it is to make sure that people aren't doing anything wrong with it or it's not getting out. People that see problems with the data, who have identified issues or are, of all different kinds. People that are creating new data, you're maybe building new applications or building new reporting, warehousing or reporting models and things like that. And then new people that know nothing, right? So these are sort of all the different kinds of, states of interaction with the data from people in those different roles, right, in the different contexts that they come from, right? That people in those other positions and other needs will fall into one of these sort of, 5 or 6 categories, depending on your kind. So you've got your consumers and requesters, people who are who are asking for reports or requesting new things, or getting reports and have questions. You got your analysts and report creators, so people who are building reports or modeling. Then you've got your data stewards, which we're going to spend a fair amount of time on today, both functional and technical stewardship over your data. And then you've got your data governance leadership and champions, which we're also going to spend a fair amount of time. So people who are managing your data governance process, who are training the stewards and the users on your process, and making sure that your data governance is flowing smoothly. And then you have this sort of universe of other contributors and subject matter experts that can participate as stewards potentially, but maybe not. So people who aren't like officially a steward but have information that you need. So that falls in the category like people who know something and that you need to get in that. And you're lucky if all those people, like every bit of information that you need to know about your data is housed in one of your data stewards' brains. But oftentimes they have to reach out of that. So anyone who could be an additional contributor. So maybe additional technical resources or business unit resources or policy experts that you might need to pull in to the governance process as well. So these are the primary roles that we're going to talk about. And when we do things like implementing the cookbook and setting up workflows and things like that, these are the roles that you think about in terms of steps and actions